I'm in my intro screen, so the music is playing. I have to mute myself, but we're coming though, so I'm ready, bro. Here we go. There we go. There we go. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain. So I thank you for doing this, man. Taking time out of your day, just to chop it up with the young fella, man. This is Deeply Rooted, Season 1, Episode 6, with my man Daric Bergensen, better known as DJ Daric B. Um, how you doing, brother? I mean, as far as I know, I was telling you earlier, we don't do a lot of, getting into the
Oh, you're
career. So,
chopping up again.
is it? Uh,
Me.
we don't. You can hear me?
You're chopping again.
All right, that might just be our connection. Is that better? You still? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, it was like just Yeah. Okay. I think it is the connection. Sorry about that.
It's all good. You got me. So if you can hear me, Derek, yeah, I think that might be on your end. Uh,
Um,
sheesh.
Second, I could plug in a hard wire because I'm actually on a Wi-Fi. That's probably what the problem is.
Okay. You able to do that, or you want to just keep rolling?
It take me like 2 minutes. I just run in and grab the cord and plug it in.
Dope, dope, dope. That way we can just get it done. Y'all, we working it out. I promise you by season 2, we'll have all these things worked out. It's just me and my man Ron in here. Y'all don't see Ron; he stays out of the camera, but neither one of us have done anything like this. And then you got these internet issues. Um, if it's not on my end, it might be on their end. Um, I've tried to get ours better. I think we have. So it's a work in progress. But again, you know, I'm going live not because I have to, not because I think 1,000 people are going to tap in, but I like the pressure of it. I like the consistency of it. It gives me deadlines. I'm not able to say, oh, let's just do it in an hour. Let's just, So that's why we do this. These will be up. Um, I'll try to trim them at some point to where you don't have to have all of the nonsense or whatever. But for those of you that are rocking with us, I really appreciate it. Yo, I should have put it over there because now I'm looking at them over here. Yep, we get it done, son. How late are we? 20 minutes. We've been on for 20 minutes already. Anything worth doing, anything worth having, it's worth the wait. But I mean, taking the time to do this now, hopefully, it'll allow us to get a good solid interview. Cause I tap into Derek. I never actually met Derek. Um, I a mutual friend, my homie Jamie, JSK, better known, legendary native rapper. He introduced me to Derek, and we've you know been conversing back and forth online. He's actually a dude that I will call for advice when I need it, and he's always willing to pick up the phone and give me a second or two. So I definitely appreciate that. But Derek drops jewels all the time on online and on his account, which made me want to get him on here. So hopefully,
Sure, but let's keep my fingers crossed.
all right. So can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's listen today. Rookie mistake,
Yeah.
and I had this already plugged in, but I was on, and just time got away from me.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it happens, man, and you know, this is how you should be, man. Just you do what you can. You go with the flow. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself for this thing, man, because I understand that the message is powerful, and if it helps just one person, then it's worth it to fight through and to deal with this shit. So it's not a big deal at all. Um, but if you're able to hear me, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get this thing rocking. Who is Derek Bergensen? Not professionally. Who is the man?
I would just describe myself as a big brother. That's if you just take my labels off, he's that guy you call for. You need some help, you need extra hand. Out there.
That's dope. That's dope. And has it always been that way, or is that something that you grew to be, or is it innate?
Um, I think it's always been like that. Because I've been willing to swing the bat more than most people,
Yeah.
and what I mean is I take more chances. Um, it. I think that's what it is. I've experienced a lot more than my peers because I wanted to try it out.
Yeah. Just taking action, bro. I definitely can dig that. That's why we're even here. Is because
Yeah,
I wasn't scared to just step up to the plate. Um, which reading about your career, right? I mean, your career, just your bio, shows that. Who the hell? What? Uh,
this is a amazing show.
we got people crawling in for papers, man. My bad. Uh,
Running around, plugging in internet.
so, so anyway, what I was saying was through your bio though, I could see that, like, the from DVDs to DJing to promotions to distribution side of it, like your resume reads as somebody who ain't scared to take a shot. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope. And that's taking you places in your life, I assume, right? Like, can you imagine
Definitely.
that you would see, like, does the 10-year-old Derek, does he see these things too, or like, did he think you would be where you're at?
No, no, definitely no. But that version of me was doing stuff that regular 10-year-olds weren't doing. Also,
Okay. So it's
um,
always been there.
I don't know. Some people have just called me an old soul,
Hmm.
and that no, I'm gotta do. I gotta try. I gotta at least try. You saying I can't do that?
Yeah,
Let me
no doubt.
try.
I'm kind of the same way, man. So I guess that kind of segues into this next question. Like, so where does that motivation come from? Like, can you put a label on it? Like, what drives you?
Um. Well, I wouldn't say that. They had this always been motivated to do things because grew up with not much. So, having a lot forced me. My mom would always tell me, "Well, there's a way," and that was her answer to everything. If I wanted something, she'd say, "Well, Will there's a way, and then I'd have to figure it out. So I kind of brain and thought about, how can I get this? And so I just TV. I take my lead from TV. I'd see kids setting up lemonade stands and having paper routes and mowing lawns and stuff. And I'm like, well, if kids are earning money, then that too.
Yeah. If they,
From a young age, I've always had that like saw it on TV, then it must be me. I can do it too.
no, no, I like that. Cause
You know,
you're damn right.
I think I
Yeah.
was a dishwasher when I was 14, and I returned back.
He got that first check, and it's been on ever since. So, how has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success?
I don't call them failures anymore. They're just step one in my process. So, a failure will always, give me a chance to recorrect, and I know not to do it that way. S- Just been a stepping stone. I never looked at it as, I never used the word failure when I'm describing myself or any of my actions. I'm going to give it a good shot.
I love that.
Often fail. I do, but not that much anymore.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite failure or maybe a particular failure that taught you the biggest lesson?
Multiple big lessons from failures because, as you know, I tried multiple things. So my very first big expensive failure, that's really what we want to talk about, right? What was that
Mm,
big one that you took a loss?
yeah.
Well, I didn't actually take the loss, but I was in charge of designing some posters. And at that time, we would go to Kinko's and do the work there.
Mm,
And I saved the file the correct format. So when it got to the printers, they just printed this black sheet, and of course we had to pay for it.
mm,
So I mean, I kind of learned to double check and make sure you know what you're doing before you do it.
yeah. That's a big lesson. Because things are made in those small little details, like that could have made all the difference in that project, so that's a dope lesson, man. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, um, that millions of people could see, what would it say and why?
Wow, billboard.
Could be a few words, a paragraph, just anything
Hey,
really.
it would be happy.
Be happy, like that.
'Cause I think everything for my life has been based around that idea.
Okay.
Happy, you feel good, and when you feel good, what you need, it comes to you. You know,
I agree. And
so I don't think about money.
no, go ahead.
Money.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
don't think about. I don't think about a lot of stuff, but I don't think about negative stuff or anything that would cause a regular human to worry or panic.
Hmm.
I'm a believer in the law of attraction, and for like 12, 13 years now, a a avid user of it, and thinking about it is better than thinking trying to pretend to be positive about it.
Yeah.
So I never think about things that make me worry. If I can set things up like bills, I try to set them up on a auto payment,
Hmm.
so I never have to think about the bills. I never
Yeah. And
just gets paid. You know.
law of attraction, like the knowledge of that, when I first learned that concept, that really started me on my ascension, or what I, my awakening, I guess you would say. And I use it all the time too. Like, so it's dope that you say that, and I think be happy as a phrase. There's so much there, because I personally think, you know, our purpose here is to become our best self. You know what I mean? So the best Tony, the best Derek that I could possibly be. I have maximum potential, and we seem to get in our way a lot of times, you know, achieving maximum potential, whether it's allowing, negative energies into our world, or dead weight, or whatever it may be, right? So I love the fact that that's essentially what that means, and it's so simple. Is, be the best you can, and like you said, when you do that, the universe, God, whatever you choose to call it, you know, seems to provide, and reward you just for simply being obedient to the mission, which is be our best selves. You know, that was a really
I
dope
don't know.
answer.
I don't really. I don't think I meant be your best self. I
Mm-hmm.
think being happy is different than being your best self,
Mm-hmm.
because self now brings up the thought of how bad you are and how good
I
you're
get
not.
that. Yeah.
So for like, just being happy is, I'm overweight a little bit, but I'm okay with it, you know. So being the self, the being the best you is kind of like, it's got multiple definitions.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what you mean, but for me, I think being happy, not a dollar in your pocket. You're not gonna go do any missionary work. You're not gonna help nobody else. You're just laying in the sun, feeling it and happy.
But
And I think
see,
that's different than living your best life.
with no dollar in your pocket, not anything to eat, you can still give, because sometimes giving is just kindness. Sometimes giving is just being present to someone's situation. And in terms of best self, I think for me, what I mean by that is, because there's two us, right? There's two of us. There's this ego that is built by the mind, that functions through mind patterns and thinking, and that tells us who we are. Then there's the awareness of that ego, right? So the part of us that is aware that we have thoughts, that's our true self. Our true self is a concern with ego. So it doesn't involve, like, you know having millions of dollars. To me, it's living your truth, which in turn, when you live your truth, gives you happiness. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that was more where I was going with it, because I'm reading a lot now, and I'm learning a lot about the ego, man, and how destructive it is to us, as people. So
Oh,
dope.
we don't have it for it. We don't just have it for no reason.
Hmm.
So I mean, I think an ego is good for people to be able to measure their personal success, where because everybody's truth is different,
Yep.
and everyone's lives change, and so their truths change. So that's why, like, even that person with no money in his pocket and no food in his belly, you say he could still offer something, but for anything good if he feels like shit.
No doubt.
When you're on an airplane, the parent, if on the airplane and the masks drop,
Hmm.
and so what that, if you're not happy, you can't offer happiness to someone else that's effective.
Yep.
So that's why I said happy. And if you ain't got nothing going on, and if you're not helping anybody, what you're doing is you're putting your mask on first, because this is a one game. Even though there's millions of us, right? The game is right here, is by ourselves. Only you know who's winning.
No doubt. That's
So you got
dope.
to put your first mask on first, and then go help people who want to.
I got you.
I think that we're here for, I think, stuff, to try stuff, to become someone better than you were, right? But you could also become a scumbag if you wanted to, because that's your choice, So it's about experiences. Because I mean, I've read and watched a lot of stuff about spirits,
Hmm.
and I'm not an expert on spirits or anything, but what I know is they watch us. They watch us all day, all night. So that tells me that the sunsets, they're not in heaven. They're here right now.
Hmm.
Well, the relationships, they're here right now. So for me, that means I'm already in heaven right now.
That's
So
dope.
as long as I'm here and I got a pass to ride any ride I want, I got to take advantage of it and be happy.
Dope.
And
Dope.
those experiences will come to you if you're happy. Good things don't come when you're not happy.
No doubt. Growth comes, but you know that it's all it's all perspective. Okay, so what is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've ever made? Could be time, energy,
Oh, that's
money.
easy. I mean, every seminar I've ever paid for, every seminar I've ever watched for free, those are the best investments. Like
So
you said, there, out of a down situation, you could, and I have picked up a book and turned it around and made something positive out of it. So investing in my brain, investing in my spirituality is the best investment, because investing in my happiness.
yeah, I
Everything
see
else
it.
I don't worry about. It just it'll slide to me when I need it.
That's dope, man. You got a really dope mindset, bro. Um, what impact do you want to leave on the world?
I just want to be able to help a few people, see what I see.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know how far I could spread my word, but by being on this show today, this will definitely help leave some kind of impact. I want people to be able to just honestly use your mind. Like, got a lot of resources available to us in any situation you're in. When already went through that situation, a couple of them wrote about it, and a couple of
Man.
them made videos about it, and a couple of them answered the questions. So the journey is like finding these answers,
Yeah.
personal questions.
You
So
know,
if I could leave an impact, I would like to be able to leave some roadmaps for people.
and I think you do that, bro. I mean, I watch you, teach people all the time. I watch you throw perspectives out there just, all the time. So, I mean, it's not even a like what type do you want to leave? Like you are leaving, you've already left. Even people like Jamie speaks so highly of you, that I had to make it a point to get to know you or to at least, have you in my world. You know what I mean? So that impact has already been made, So I just want you, I'm sure you know that, but if you don't, like, I see you, bro.
Yeah, I
Like, you help a
appreciate it.
lot of people, man. And, we need Derek B's, all over the world. Like, so I recognize that. I just want to, let you know. Um, in the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
Easy one is forgiveness.
Hmm.
That a lot of my own personal problems were me holding on to things that I forgiven myself for even being involved with,
Yeah.
and so that I'm not religious. I'm going to say that I went to Catholic school, for a long time. Was an altar boy. Family is still very religious, but I'm not anymore. But I
Mhm.
understand what Jesus was saying. He always talked about is in the forgiveness and having the weight lifted off your shoulder. It pulls in the energy for expansion, right? And so if you have that heavy negative, you see, bad memory. I believe that you should, feel it and experience it, and you already did, and there's no reason to hold on to it. So kind of like take it out of your backpack and now run a little faster. And at some point, you know what I mean? Like Jesus didn't have anything in his backpack. And so he was able to do a lot more things than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say my forgiveness, being able to forgive myself, being able to forgive other people, and forgive that ego.
Yeah, no doubt. That's dope. Even man, great answer, bro. Um, what advice would you give to a smart, driven kid about to enter the real world?
People, advice we give people sometimes didn't work for ourselves. So I'd give is, man, try anything. Just try it. We live in this 21. Like, we're having an interview from across the country. So the possibilities are endless. Like, but these kids have to use their imagination because the job I grew up with, dishwasher, fast food. I went to McDonald's the other day and a computer kiosk, a touch screen.
Yeah.
That just tells me a lot more jobs are going to be disappearing for people who aren't active with their imagination. Really want to be when you grow up is a serious question, you know, and we can explain opportunities to younger children more often. Um, there's more than just YouTube heroes. Like my son is 10, and he would love to be nothing more than a YouTube star and
Mine too.
pranking people and playing with video games all day. But
Yeah.
there's more to
Yeah. I agree, man. Automation um is like, it's making it to where you're, like you said, you're gonna have to use your brain. You're gonna have to think outside of the box right now, like the traditional way. But it's also, people complain about this time and it's fast and the technology is taking over. But for me, and I'm sure for you, this is like one of the best times in history in my life. I was one of those kids that would be curious about something and go open an encyclopedia, right? And if you've ever done that, you're kind of limited
hmm
to what's in there. But the fact now that I have a phone in my pocket and I can answer any question or at least get guided in the right way that I have instantly right now is sending me on an expressway of learning. Like, and I take the time to be grateful for that and show gratitude for my favorite invention of all time, and that's the internet. Changed my life, bro. And so I definitely agree. You got to think outside of the box, especially nowadays when in America just a normal job ain't gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? You got to have three and four and five sources of revenue or income streams because just the way the economy is. So I think that's great advice. Um, in the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to? Distractions, invitations, etc.
um, everything. And what I've learned is to be selfish. I know it sounds terrible, but I am selfish, and I'm selfish with my time. That's it. Nothing else. You want money, you want stuff, I'll give it to you. But my time, whoo.
Yeah,
So I love to say no because man, I think man how I got caught up in that trying to please everybody for a long time, and I was just overloaded, and I stay up till 4 in the morning. Like I gotta finish this. I told him I'd do it for him, and you
Yeah,
know, and say no to everything, unless I feel it. So if it's not genuine from me, I'm not gonna do it.
yeah. So has there was there a particular realization, or is there a particular approach that you take, like, or like, you understand what I mean, like, is there, what has helped you do that? Because it's hard for me. I mean, I guess, quote unquote, retired at the beginning of the year, and that was part of it, bro. It was like, it was the only thing I could do to maybe like just get a break, and you know, not have to say no so many times, and hurt people's feelings. That was hard for me. So was there anything that made it easier, or was there something that pushed you over the edge?
Yeah, it made it easier if you just told the truth. Like, man, to be honest with you, man, shoot, I got these kids I gotta deal with, and I've got this softball, and I got Boy Scouts coming up, and I really just don't have the time. And I
Yeah,
think if you're honest, then people they'll accept it, and that's my approach. I'm just keeping it 100. Like, man, I'd love to do it, and
yeah,
under any other circumstances, I would, but here's the reason why I can't.
yeah. That's dope. Okay, when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, or have lost your focus temporarily, what do you do?
I smoke a lot of weed.
uh, no doubt. So that's there's nothing else, right? But I mean,
When I get,
go
I
ahead.
So I play records. I go digging in the crates, and I find, like that's my kind of it recenters me.
Yeah,
I'm listening to music,
yeah, that's dope.
escape. I'll sit and listen to music and smoke.
Which kind of leads me to my last question. Um, do you have a song that you consider to be the soundtrack of your life?
Actually, have one song, but there is a particular song that I feel could be a soundtrack to a better life for
Okay,
everybody.
that's dope.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, "Wake Up."
Wake up, everybody. Yeah, I like. Yeah, that's a great choice, man. Hell yeah.
It touches me, and I feel like there could be a better future because we have all the pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
That's just
I even like that Public Enemy version of that. It was in a movie, maybe Life or something. Um, I even like that version of it.
get out.
So, Derek, man, this has been dope, man. You're such a dope dude, and in terms of your time and being willing to give up time, I appreciate from the bottom of my heart you giving me this time. Um, because you dropped some gems, man. Like, again, part of this thing is about me giving flowers to you guys, man, and being, you know 20, 25 years in the game, and being trying to be a high achiever myself. When it comes to other high achievers, we don't do it for recognition most of the time, you know what I'm saying? But you still need it, bro, and you inspired me. There's a lot of other people that I know you've inspired, so thank you, man, for your dedication and your commitment to yourself, to your mission, and to the world, bro. So I really appreciate you, homie.
And like I just want to um I want people, in 10 years from now to hear me speak and it be the best stuff I ever said, because a lot of guys and I'm talking about the music industry mostly, and a lot of guys in our business here here's what you say about other guys. It's like, yeah, man, you should have heard him in 92, boy. But I don't want to be that.
Hmm.
I want to be the guy, like, man, the 92 version was really dumb, and this version right now, this current version is the best version. You
Dog.
know, um, I want always to just be better. And one of my online mentors, his name is Jim Rohn,
Hmm.
and he says to leave a profit with anything you do, leave a profit. So what that means is just whatever you touch, make sure it was better because you touched it.
Mm. I like that. Leave a profit. That's
Leave a
dope.
profit.
Hell yeah. Well, you're definitely doing that, bro. So I know you got other things to do. Oh, what I do want to do is I know you're DJing on Twitch and you have some things that you're doing. So if you want to let me know what those are, so we can share those and get people, because I know that reggae joint that you do, that's my type of flavor all day. So shout some of that stuff out
Yeah,
for me
yeah,
if you.
no doubt. You can follow me on Twitch. Just DJ Daric B, DARIC B, spelled a little bit different. And play a lot of reggae. I play a lot of old school. So every morning from 8 to 10, I have it's called the Lowrider Oldies Show, and
Hmm.
I just play music that I would hear at car shows when I was young. So
Okay.
it's soul, it's funk, disco, it's hip hop, it's freestyle, and I just mix it up
Hell yeah.
every morning on Twitch.
Every morning? I didn't know you did it every
Every
morning.
morning,
Oh wow.
Monday through Friday. Yeah, Monday through Friday.
I'm on it, man. I'm gonna have to start tapping in with you, man. Um, and this, I guess, one last thing, like that '90s bass stuff, like Mac Mall, a lot of the things that you were involved in, right? Like that
Yeah,
stuff was so heavy of an influence in our lives, like down here in my area. You know what I'm saying? Like we were
right,
getting those records, and I didn't understand. I was one of those kids that, every Tuesday morning when the new records came out at the record store, I already knew what was coming out. I knew what I was there for, and I was there every damn Tuesday. But we had there's like this little outlet mall or something that they put in Lawrence, which had, I forgot what the name of the record store was, but they obviously had a different distribution company, and I swear to God it had to be y'all, right, at Bayside, right, because that's where I started getting like Spice One, Mac Mall, like I started getting all this shit, right, so like even in that sense you've had a big impact on my life even before I knew who the hell you were. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go into like my production
right.
career, that's where that shit comes from. That's what I listen to. You know what I mean? I was a Bay Area head, dude. So again, I want to say thank you for that. And then somebody said, was Tupac ever close to signing Mac Mall? Somebody wanted to know that.
Oh, well, Mac Mall. I mean, Tupac was around because of Kyrie and Jay King. So he wanted production from Kyrie,
Hell yeah.
and so I don't know if that ever actually happened, but he liked the crew, and so he even he directed a video for Mac Mall. Um, no, it was just a lot friendlier to network back then. It was easier to network, and also remember, Tupac wasn't even close to being famous at that time, anyways.
Yeah.
So, um, he was just as he wasn't even bigger than Spice One was way bigger than him. Gold Records.
Yeah.
And then Tupac was he part of Digital Underground. That was kind of how we knew him.
Yeah. So you met homie several times then.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And he had a lot of love for Vallejo. E40 and he friends here. You
Damn.
know,
That's dope.
manager was Layla Steinberg at the time, and she worked for. She was a consultant for Strictly. It was called Strictly Business Records.
Mm,
That was the label before Young Black Brother Records. So
okay.
um, how he kind of got into the network is Layla was around a lot.
That's dope. So at that point in time, Mac Mall, they right here. And Mac might even have been a little bit bigger because man, that my opinion,
He
dog. Like that, oh my God. Like that
not
might
only
be on the
bigger in the
soundtrack of my
sense,
life. My bad. Go
he
ahead.
was. I think he was only bigger at that time because all independent.
Yeah.
City Hall Records, you know what I mean? It's like we got to just press more CDs. We got to press more records. We got to. It was a wild ride because about too many other like independent hits before Mac Mall. I mean, Five and RBL Posse, they did a few 100,000 independently. Um,
Yeah.
and Mac Mall was part of that crew that did those big numbers early on.
Yeah, in a major way, like I spent so much time with that damn album, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I was like a Bay head, man. Like I, I could replay some of those beats just from memory. You know what I'm saying? Like so. Anyway, Derek, man, I don't want to
We
keep you.
knew
Oh, go ahead.
real quick, real quick. I just want to say, we knew all about. Funny when we when you guys started to get on our radar. When I say you guys, I mean the Midwest,
Yeah,
and we would be like, man, what's going on? Why are they buying all this? And then, one day we got a call, and I think it was Tony Draper, and he's like, yeah, man, we want to do a record. My artist is named 8 Ball and MJG, and we're like, who the hell are you? We never heard of you.
yeah,
And so we're like, where y'all from? And so we were like, oh, damn, the South is now messing with us. And Texas started calling. And
man.
also, you got to remember, there weren't many options for hip hop records, So if you got a, if you had the ability to get into a chain store early on, then you sold a lot of records
Yeah,
because
because
there
a
were only
kid
like
like me was
10
gonna buy it.
choices.
A kid like me was gonna buy it. I'll never forget 187 Proof. Spice One's first record. I started because all I had was like the visual, and then I would read the titles of the songs. That's all I had. And I can't buy 8 records a week. I can only buy 2 or 3. But it's funny that you mentioned 8 Ball and MJG because that's one thing. That's one thing that's very valuable about being from the Midwest is we're right in the middle, so we're not really tied to a particular sound, right? So you got Wu Tang coming in at the same time as you got, all these other people coming in from the South, or like, you know, Cash Money coming in, and there's not a stigma like in New York. They listen to New York records. Like if you listen, not so much now because the last time I went to New York, it wasn't like this. But like New York radio only played New York artists. Like it just, I had a friend that grew up from New York, and she didn't hear Outkast until like their fourth album, like Miss Jackson or some
Yeah.
shit. And so I really value that is that we just took it all in, man. Like, and maybe that's why the sales were like they were is because we always felt like we're being left out of the industry. Nobody cares, nobody. There's no big rappers from around here, so we want it all. Shit. So yeah,
We always the Midwest became and more so even like just Kansas City was like the it considered that our second home, because artists would go and take a nice little tour and come back like, man, this response in the Bay.
yeah. That's how it is.
So,
Fucking
and even,
funny.
go, and that's how we even met, JSK is, we even hit a lot of Indian reservations and we do shows in crazy places, like wherever they'd let us,
Yeah,
Mac Dre on Indian reservation, Yuckmouth, and it was like sellout though,
yeah.
amazing shows.
This is dope, man.
When the record started selling, the tour started happening, and people are like, we got to get on the road. You know,
Yeah,
money was being made because we would press. We were fortunate to be in the Bay Area. Well, guess what's here? Shoot, every pressing plant you need, every printing place you need. The tools of the music business are in the Bay Area, and
yeah,
so pressing plant don't care who you are. If you got $1,000, they'll let you press some CDs.
yeah, yeah. No doubt.
So we pressed CDs, and then we just got on the road, and it was a lot of good money made back in them CD days.
So just because this kind of relates, um, how are you feeling about the NFT thing? Like, it kind of feels to me that we might be able to get some money back in this thing, man.
Well, I think maybe for a handful of bigger artists who are already kind of in demand. Um, Otherwise, it's like selling stock in a stock nobody wants. You know, so some people are gonna make money. A handful of people uh, are gonna do well. It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
but it will help people because I've had deals with like in Japan who wanted to license flops records who didn't do nothing out here. You- Like, yes, we need this. So,
That's been
no,
confusing to me. We had a dude from Japan come by our whole back catalog, man. And like I didn't understand like why you want this obscure shit from Midwest to go to Japan, but apparently that's a thing. And he came back like a couple months later and wanted more, but it was like, we printed up 5,000 in 2002 and we sold three and we still got two sitting around, like that type of stuff. But he came and bought them all, so it's interesting, man. I'd like to get to Japan and see what's going on, you know.
I was lucky enough to go there for 2 weeks with an artist named Mr. Shadow from San Diego.
Oh, dope.
It's like whole subculture of it's not a like just like hip hop. There's pockets of hip hop. So
Hmm.
there's a big pocket of people who like ate the West Coast movement, like the low scene, Ben Davis, Dickies, 64 Impalas, and um, with that group of people, and they took
Wow.
us to stores that were dedicated to, this merchandise and pants and clothes and music, bikes.
Is that the
It was
documentary that
crazy.
you did? All right, I didn't. We must have cut, but I didn't hear your answer. But I think you said yes. What is the name of that? I want to watch that. And where can I watch it?
You can't watch it anywhere because we never finished it.
I got you, got you. That's dope. So you still
you
got that
know,
footage sitting around?
got footage to see. The thing is, we didn't know what we were doing, and
Yeah,
so when important things were happening, like we were all participating in them, and no one grabbed a camera.
yeah.
We
That's
had a lot of fun though.
that's dope. Well, again, I'm gonna let you go, Derek, because I'm sure we can stay here all night, bro. Again, salute to you, bro. Um, I'm about to tap in with you every morning, let you get me going. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you, bro. Any parting words?
Just strive to be happy, and
That's
do
what's up.
your philosophy.
That's what's up, man. Well, salute. You have a good evening, sir. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.